In this episode, we'll explore how we can use different rumen-protected fats to influence the suitability of milk from the farm to manufacture different dairy products, such as cheese and butter. Milk from the farm can be used for either liquid or manufacturing purposes, and what's really useful when we look at fat nutrition is that we can use different rumen-protected fats or fatty acid blends to really alter the type or the properties of the milk fat that we deliver to the dairy processor, and that will allow the processor to manufacture dairy products with specific properties, such as a softer, more spreadable butter, or a softer cheese, or a harder cheese, for example. The milk from dairy farms will be used for either liquid or manufacturing purposes, and when we look at manufacturing contracts, it's interesting that we can use rumen-protected fats to influence the properties of dairy products that are manufactured. So for example, if we want to produce a softer butter or a butter that's more spreadable straight from the fridge, we would use a product such as Volac here, which is the calcium salt product with a higher proportion of unsaturated fatty acids with low melting points. If we wanted a harder butter, a harder texture, that's maybe more suitable in hotter climates, for example, then we would use a product with a higher palmitic acid content, so one of the high C16 supplements. And we'd see a similar effect when we look at cheese. If we wanted a harder cheese, we would look at a product with a higher proportion of high melting point, harder palmitic acid. Whereas if we wanted a softer cheese, we would look at, again, back to the calcium salt type products with the more of the low melting point, softer milk fatty acids. A lot of milk from dairy farms will also go to coffee shops, where one of the key attributes is the ability of milk to form a good froth. So if we get a good froth when we buy a latte or a cappuccino, etc. And different factors will influence the ability of milk to form a good froth, and one of those will be the type of milk fat that's actually in the milk supplied. So important to remember that we can influence the ability of milk to form a froth by using different types of rumen-protected fats. So for those who are supplying for coffee contracts, then we would advise the farmer particular types of rumen-protected fat to best meet the ability of the milk they supply to form a good froth on their coffee. So that's the end of episode 3, but please follow us on our social channels where you can find more information and more data on fatty acid nutrition in dairy cows.